Right, okay. I wonder if anyone is going to jump on. We now have that... Sorry, I've got my Alexa talking at me. We've now got that wonderful bit where there's a delay. Let me just sort that camera out a wee bit because that's not right. Bear with me. That should be a little better. Let me just check. Let me turn my volume up. So hopefully people will start jumping on. I will give everyone a little chance to join, and if no one joins soon, I will just carry on regardless, as they say. Apparently I've got new notifications. Isn't that exciting? So, is anybody going to join me? I feel alone, apart from me. So today is slightly different because I thought it might be interesting for people to understand what this scary thing of joining Stampin' Up and or my team is all about. So I thought I would take some time to go through that because I think there's a lot of myths about what it means. So I thought I would take this time. So the first thing is, joining during Sale-a-Bration is a brilliant time because you get extra goodies in your starter kit. The starter kit is always amazing. Now I'm going to have to check on the European amounts, but bear with me. So for £99 or 129 euros, you can buy the starter kit. In the starter kit, you can put whatever you want up to a value of £130 or 175 euros. So that's an enormous amount of product, and you don't pay postage, which is even better. So it's the £99 actually saves you £35.95 because the standard postage for the UK is £4.95. I can't remember what it is for Europe, but it's that sort of amount. So you're saving, by spending £99, you are saving £35.95. Now, being a demonstrator is a bit of a misnomer, because you don't actually have to run a business. You don't have to demonstrate. All you need to do is enjoy crafting. Hello, Kay. I don't feel quite so alone now. So yes, all you have to do is enjoy crafting. There are quarterly minimums, but they're quarterly. And the big thing about joining during Sale-a-Bration is that you get until the end of July, I know, to hit that first minimum. So huge amount of time. And during that time, hi Claire, and during that time, of course, you can be buying extra things at a discount, and those count towards your minimum. So it's not even that you have to sell product to somebody else. You can just buy it all yourself, which I think is amazing. And that's, to be honest, most people who join Stampin' Up join Morning Wendy. Don't forget the friendships. I'm coming on to that. Most people who join for the discount. The moment you join, well, in the UK, it's different in each country, and this is down to the legislation of the country. But in the UK, hi Donna, in the UK, you have to wait for 7 days before you can place your first order, but that's UK legislation. But the moment you can start placing your orders, you will get, before VAT, because we have to pay the tax man, you will get 20% off your orders. So easy maths, if you were to spend £120, roughly £20 of that would be tax. So you'd then have £100 that isn't tax, roughly. So your £100 becomes 20% off, £80, so your £120 order costs you £100. It's a little bit more than that because I'm really doing rough maths, but it's that sort of thing. And of course you get to have all of the benefits of being a customer. I know. One of my team, who is doing phenomenally well, I have to say, and she is a discount shopper, she hadn't appreciated that, hi Trisha, that she got customer benefits as well. So stamping rewards, so if you put in an order that's over £150, you get your stamping rewards. Amazing. If there are any customer specials, you get those, but you also get demonstrator specials, so you get to order early, you get to attend exclusive events, and as Wendy so rightly said, you get to make amazing friendships, even during this horrible time that we're going through, and I think we're all going through it wherever we are in the world, where meeting face-to-face is nigh on impossible. We're doing Zoom calls. So this evening, I've got a Zoom call with my team, and we're just going to craft and chat. So, yeah, amazing friendships. I can now honestly say that having been a demonstrator for not quite 5 years, some of my closest friends are people who I have met since I've been a demonstrator. And one of the reasons that most demonstrators stay as demonstrators is because of the friendships. It's not because of the discount. It's because of the friendships, because they are amazing. You get to meet people from around the world, and particularly at the moment where we're doing most things through Zoom or Facebook Live or whatever, we're meeting people across the world that we wouldn't normally meet, which is just fantastic. So, yeah. So that's the basic deal. If you were interested in joining my team, you would have to be in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands. And I do have I've got team in all of the UK apart from Northern Ireland. I'm still waiting for someone in Northern Ireland. And then I've got team in Europe as well. And they join our Zoom calls, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So distance isn't an issue. I've always been online. That's always been my business model. So I've always been looking at team stuff as an online event. We have had virtual team crafting events where we've all had the same supplies and then crafted together. Had a 2-hour video. Absolutely. So yes, so Wendy had a 2-hour video call with another of my team on Friday. I mean, you can't put a value on that. It's anyhow. So I thought it might be useful to show you what a starter kit could look like if you were to join during Sale-a-Bration. So I have put together, this is just an example, there are lots of options, but I have put together a starter kit using items from the Love You Always suite. This is where there is a delay in my stream, so I don't know what you're seeing. But I'm going to flip down and go through what you could put into your starter kit, just as an example. You can't get the whole of the suite in. I was hoping that you could, but unfortunately the whole of the suite is £151, but that's because it's got 2 bundles in it. So, yeah. But bear with me while I just flip down to picture in picture. So you should end up seeing me and my craft desk. Now, some of this is going to be very big, so I'm going to show you small versions of it, because 12 by 12 paper is a challenge on my craft desk. I mean, it's not, but to be on camera as well. So I have put in my starter kit both the specialty paper, which is the Love You Always Specialty Designer Series paper, which is all of these. They are 12 by 12 in real world. Hi, Audrey. So in the real world, they are 12 by 12. So these are the designs that you get in the real world. So they're all slightly different, and they're Blushing Bride, Rococo Rose, and Sahara Sand. and they're single-sided because they're foiled on one side and plain on the other side, because why would you want to not use the foiled side? But they are, as I say, they're all the same because all I've done is cut these in quarters. Then you also get, in my made-up starter kit, the True Love Designer Series paper, which is all black and white. And I've done quite a lot of A, fussy cutting, and B, colouring. So let me find all the designs. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be another one. That's that one. That's that one. That's the one that's missing. So those are the 6 designs, the A side. So these are what I would call the A side. And they are all gorgeous. And as I say, you can colour them with blends, which I've done a lot of. You can fussy cut them, lots of things to do. And then don't worry that they're a bit feminine, because on the reverse, there are just straightforward black and white patterns. So perfect if you're looking for a set that can do both men and women. So that I seem to have in twice. That means I probably didn't show you that design. So lots and lots of lovely options there. Let me put a flower on top. There we go. So that's that. Then you also can get in your starter kit, and this is going to be blinding because it's the foil, and this is amazing value because you get, let me check, 6 sheets, 2 each of 3 colours. I've got small bits of 2 of the colours. So that's Sahara Sand, which is a really good metallic. I mean, as in it could be silver or champagne or whatever. That's Rococo Rose. And I have yet to cut into the, yes, Blushing Bride. So this is where I'm going to blind you. So, sorry. Let's see if I can not blind you too much. So we've got Blushing Bride, the big piece, Rococo Rose, and Sahara Sand. So amazing. Morning, Sharon. So that is, as I say, all included. I'll just put those 2 bits out as tokens for the foil. Whoops. Things falling on the floor. Always a plan. Then I have included the Forever and Always bundle. So that's this stamp set and the dies, which die cut the words love and always, and you've got shadow as well, plus some extra florals, and then dies to cut the imagery. And then these lovely strips which die cut these words on a strip. So that is that bundle. I normally keep those together. Aren't they lovely, Donna? I think they are stunning. They are just amazing. So, oops, one of the dies has fallen out. Let's pop that away before I lose it. This is one of the reasons why I keep my dies in my stamp case. Don't always. A little die. Yes, thank you, Kay. Yes. There's about a 10-second lag, I think. There always is on these things, unfortunately. Then how do they describe this? It's a really dull description, this ribbon. They call it Blushing Bride Metallic Ribbon. And it is Blushing Bride. I'll get some Blushing Bride out to show you. Bear with me. So this is Blushing Bride card, and it is beautifully matched Blushing Bride. But on the other side, you get the metallic. So you can, again, use it for all sorts of things. It's just beautiful. And it ties a really nice bow. I do my, bunny ear bows. Auntie Betty bow. It ties a really nice bow. It's got a little bit of structure to it. And this would annoy me because I would have to twist it so that it had the outside. But anyway, you can manipulate it. but it is gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon. So I've included that in your starter kit. I have also included a pack of Subtles dice cardstock. So we've got Pool Party, Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, Pear Pizzazz, Soft Sea Foam, So Saffron, Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Blushing Bride, and Highland Heather. So I've included all of that. You could just select a single colour if you would rather, but a whole pack of coloured cardstock, a whole pack of 40 sheets of white. Now mine is Whisper White because I've had it a while. It would be now Bright White, which is the new white. So 40 sheets of standard Whisper White, 25 sheets, sorry, basic white, 24 sheets of basic white thick cardstock, a pack of basic white envelopes, 40 of those, and that comes to, oh, hang on, no, I've missed some bits out, and 2 ink pads. Now I've chosen Blushing Bride and Rococo Rose because those are 2 of the colours that are, quote, in the suite because of the foil, but you could obviously choose any colours you want. They are £7 each, but I've just chosen 2. So that came to, let me find my cheat sheet. It came to, I think I ended up with £1.50 left. Yep, £1.50 left. So it's possible that there's something on the clearance rack that you could add in. So that's £128. Hi, Ali. From Western Australia. Wow. 717 in Western Australia. So yes, so this would be for the UK, definitely, as I say, the values in Europe are slightly different, but this would be a standard UK starter kit if you wanted the this suite. So if you wanted items from the Love You Always suite. So that would be, as I say, £128.50. You could get it plus postage of £4.95. You would get it for £99, no postage. Plus, you would also get, during Sale-a-Bration, a mere 5 packs of patterned paper. So you get the Regals 6x6. This is going to be in the new annual catalogue, which will come out later in the summer or winter if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. So this is advanced stuff. We were, as demonstrators, were allowed to order it during our mini catalogue pre-order period, which was in December, because we got to order stuff early, a month early. So the only way you're going to be able to get this other than in the starter kit is to wait until the summer when the annual catalogue goes live, and then you're going to have to pay for it. And you're going to have to pay, oh, let me check, £10.75 for each packet. Hi Heidi, and Heidi is in Melbourne, where it is quite a lot later than Western Australia, because it's a big country, Australia. I flew down many years ago. I flew down to Perth in February. Oh, it was wonderful because it was so hot, and I mean it took hours. There weren't direct flights then. I had to go via Hong Kong. So I had about 12 hours in Hong Kong. Unfortunately, I had a friend who lived in Hong Kong, so we went out and went round and saw some of the sights in Hong Kong, and it was daytime that I was there, so that was useful. Got back on the plane in Hong Kong to fly to Perth, and as we crossed the north coast of Australia, someone on the plane said, "Oh, we're nearly there," and their friend sitting next to them said, "That's like saying we're nearly there if you've just crossed the north of Norway and you're heading to the south of Spain," which put it into perspective quite well. Anyway, so Regals, Brights, Neutrals, Subtles, and the 2020-2021 in colours. So 5 packs of designer series paper. Now, in the Sale-a-Bration catalogue, there is a typing mistake. It says 6. There are only 5 packs. The ones that I've sent out have all been amended. And so I have said in the Sale-a-Bration catalogues that I've sent out, I have corrected that it's 5. So you would get for a mere £99, including postage, all of that. So yeah, I think it's a pretty amazing deal. So has anyone got any questions? And I don't mind where you are in the world. Basically, the rules are the same. So if you've got any questions, I'm very happy to answer any questions. If you're a demonstrator and you've got questions generally, I'm very happy to answer questions. So do feel free to ask me. I'm going to come back to full screen so that you can see me properly. But yes, do you have any questions? I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Now, I should say that at the moment in the UK, because of the wonders of Brexit, we are having slight delays on orders coming through because there's a lot of extra paperwork. But generally speaking, for the UK, we would expect to receive all of our orders within a week. As I say, because we've got a new catalogue, which surprisingly means that the warehouse is quite busy, but also we have got Brexit paperwork, so things are taking a little longer than normal, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking at. And I think, and those of you who are in Australia can probably confirm this for me, I think Europe may be the only region that has a set postage regardless of how much you order. Did we find out if customers are able to purchase? They can, Heidi, but not until the new annual catalogue comes out. So it's a perk of signing up now. So you will be able to get the customers will be able to get the new 6x6 packs, but not until the new annual catalogue goes live, which is June, July. Let me find my annual catalogue, and I will tell you when it finishes. It finishes, yes, June, I think, or it may be May. They keep changing. But yes, so that's when customers can order that paper. Yeah, in May. Thank you. It's because they keep changing when all the catalogues go live. Hopefully we're now back to normality. That I think, Audrey, that's because of the French border closing. Because for those of you who aren't in Europe, the French border closed before Christmas because we had a spike in COVID cases. So no one from the UK is allowed to go over to France without a negative COVID test, which meant there was a lot of backlog, and that was in both directions. So things are coming through now, Audrey, as far as I can tell. But I would talk to demo support and ask them to see if they can find out if there's a problem. What else? Every time I see someone use the new Stamp Runner, they struggle. Really? Okay. I will do a little... Okay, so Heidi, yours is done on weight in Australia. I thought that was the case. In the US, I know it's on value, so there's a standard cost for up to a certain amount, and then it's on value. I will flip you down and show you how I use the new tape runner. I'm assuming, Donna, that you're talking about the Seal rather than the Seal Plus. So what I would call the standard tape runner. Let me just go back to picture in picture. Sorry, I have to change software. So I've got the two tape runners. Let me find some cardstock to work on. I'm going to choose, I'll probably use black actually, because it's quite good at showing up. It's quite good at, that's not black, that's grey. It's quite good at showing up the tape. So let's have a look. Right, so here's basic black. So the Seal is a continuous roll, whereas Seal Plus is little bits. Now each of them, the key is that when you start to stick, you need there to be sticky on the roller. And a bit like Fast Fuse, it does have a tendency to string, but it's slightly different from Fast Fuse. Hi Debbie from Georgia. Hi Kathleen. 6 a.m. there, wow. This is a special about what it is to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And dare I say, one of the things that's amazing about being a Stampin' Up demonstrator is this. I mean, so many of you are demonstrators and we are communicating over thousands of miles. It just blows my mind. Anyway, yeah, so I tend to get it started with my hand. The other thing, whoops, something's just dropped. The other thing that's really good, possibly not this one because it's filthy, is a silicone mat is a really good way to get it started. So having got your sticky on the roller, you just pull it. And then when you want to stop it, I just do that. Now it does do a little string, so I would then pull it forward a bit. But yeah, so I just do that, and it's fine. If you're struggling to move it forwards, then your silicone mat actually works quite well to bring it forward, and then you just use it. So yeah, but on my usual videos, I'm kind of, yes, that does need to roll, and then I just keep going. So the key is if you get this little string, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but if you get this little string, then you're going to need to roll it forward a bit or just put it on your silicone mat. So let's see if I can get it to string. There we are. So now I haven't got glue on this bit. So the silicone mat will roll that forwards for me, pop it on the roller, and then I'm away again. And it's just, and then for the Seal Plus, again, you need to make sure that you're on the roller. And then again, I tend to do this whole movement because if I'm doing it for one, I do it for others. The rock and roll, absolutely, Kathleen. But what you don't want to do with either of them is the Fast Fuse flick, because if you do the Fast Fuse flick, eventually the tape will come and ruck up. So I wouldn't do the Fast Fuse flick too often anyway. But the Seal is so much better as an adhesive than the snail was. I mean, so many people have problems with snail. Yes, it was easy to put on. It just didn't like staying there very much. So what does Heidi said? I never got used to the old one as you only started with SU last year and you find it a little painful in that it doesn't finish at the sticky part. Yeah. So yes, you use the sticky mat as well, Heidi. That's good. Okay. I don't have to use it. I don't have to set it manually every time, so I've not used it. I love Tombow glue. Tombow is my go-to adhesive. So I've, that is. But I don't find that I have to reset it every time. It is that flick or that rock and roll that helps. My preferred glue has always been Tombow. The only time I tend not to use Tombow if I'm using the white paper, the white card. I'll use it on designer series paper, but on white, for me, and I think it's just me, I can sense that it's there when I've put it down and it's dried. I don't think it had, I think that's me. I think I'm just overly sensitive. They work properly as they start on the sticky part and finish there too. Heidi, I think the answer would be is to use the Seal Plus if that's your problem, because that does start on the sticky. Okay, so yes, Tombow does stay sticky, but actually there's an advantage to that because with the new gold flakes, gilded flakes, you can actually use your Tombow with your flakes. It is getting used to it. So yeah, so as Kay says, it's not just me. It might look different on the basic white cardstock. It might. It might. But as I say, it doesn't bother me on designer series paper, strangely. What a very good friend of mine, who was an American demo, she's now working independently for so many other stamp companies. What she used to do is literally put a tiny dot basically on each corner and down a couple of places down the side of the Tombow, and that was all she needed. So it's not just me. Okay, that's good to know, actually. But as I say, for designer series paper, I guess because it's patterned, you don't see it. Yeah, we're all the same, Heidi, I think. Anyway, so yes, so this is, I mean, that's the Seal, and that's the Seal Plus. They're both amazing. Seal Plus is great for boxes. Oops, something just dropped. I'm rattling my desk, so things are dropping. If you could see the state of my craft room at the moment, I'm sorry. Jenny, question mark. Jenny, yes, Wendy, it is Jenny I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm going to have some more coffee. She is amazing. I'm on some design teams with her. You tend to smooth the glue out with a credit card. Yeah, that'll work. Hello, Rachel. Yes, absolutely, Heidi. I don't think it's any different from any other glue, frankly. You started using tear and tape because it was annoying you so much. The thing with tear and tape... Okay, so Debbie uses art glitter glue mostly, but you have Tombow. I know a few people that use the art glitter glue. I have to say, because I'm a business demonstrator, I use just Stampin' Up stuff. I don't go off-piste. But yeah, I do like your idea of I would suggest an old credit card. So yes, you don't have to say good morning, Rachel. I just suddenly spotted that you were there, so I said hello, because that's just the kind of person I am. Yes, Wendy, I miss her videos as well. I think she's struggling with the boys, because she, bless her, I mean, she and her husband's a church pastor, anyway, he's a cleric, and they've adopted 2 autistic boys, and they are hitting the kind of 10 plus stage, so they are quite challenging. And these are not just mildly autistic, bless them. I mean, they are the nicest boys, but yeah, they are quite a challenge. So I think she's had to refocus her work a bit. The only way I use Tombow is behind white. If you sponge it on, okay. As I say, I just don't use it behind white card, or rarely. I would use Seal. So if you're using tear and tape, please only use small bits, because it's an incredibly strong adhesive. You don't need to use a lot. So just use, you know, and you can just tear it, so please don't use a lot. And you know, if I was sticking this mat down, I would put that in a corner, and there, and there, and there. So I'd put it in, you know, 6 places, maybe 8, but not much more than that. Absolutely, Wendy, yes, if you use the bottom. So, okay, here's a question. How many of you know that there's this end of the Tombow? I think we're all so used to only using this end. Hi, Renee. I think we're also used to using this end that we forget that this actually smooths. So this isn't a particularly full Tombow and it's been upside down, but let's see if I can find one that's, yeah, that was reasonably full. So I'll just shake it to the other end. Let's see if I can get it to come out. I never use this end, but here's the thing. You can smooth it out so it's smooth, but as Wendy says, it doesn't give you much wiggle room. I think that's the same with both ends, Heidi, depending on, I think a lot of it's climatic as well. So I find that my Tombow runs faster if it's warm. Audrey knew it was there, good. A lot of people don't. Who has adopted boys? An old US demo called Jenny Hall. She adopted the boys years ago. I mean, she's had them for years, but they've got to that more challenging age. Kathleen, yes, it hasn't been 5 years, but it was a bit of a surprise that it was there. So this is now dried quite well, and yes, it is tacky. It's not as tacky actually as if I had left the dribble end, the fine end, to get dry. Absolutely, Heidi, when it's warmer. But I think that's the same with quite a few things. So the alcohol markers run faster if it's warmer because the alcohol is more liquid. So yes. Anyway, so that's that. Any other questions? As I say, doesn't this just blow your mind that here we are, we've got demonstrators on from Scotland, Wales, England, Australia, the US, and a few people who aren't, and we're all here. It just blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. So, any questions about being other questions, I should say, about being a demonstrator while I take some more coffee? I mean, I should say, so you start with a 20% discount, and you can get as your standard discount 25%. You're very welcome, Donna. You can get 25% as your standard, but you can go up to, excuse me while I look, depending on how many sales you get, you can get to, so let's start with 25 as our baseline. You can get another 13% on top of that. So that would be 38% on your sales or on your customer sales. How do I clean my blender brushes? Okay, so the black brush. When your mum died, we had... Oh, that was amazing, Rachel. I'm so sorry you've lost your mother. I had to go to I mean, it's not compulsory. And I was honoured to be invited. A friend of ours who, bless him, was only in his mid-50s, he's a German who's naturalised Brit, or he's going through getting I have no brain. UK nationality. Let me find a blender pen while I'm telling you this. And he was standing in a queue to do some stuff for that, and he dropped dead. So yeah, not great. Okay, so this is Magenta Madness. If anything is going to, and we were invited to his funeral is the point that I was going to make, and it was streamed, and yeah, there were people from all over the world, not least of all because he's German. And hi, Judith. He is German, and obviously his family were in Germany. I'm going to throw this away before I forget that it's covered in glue. So, blender pen. So I've got a blender pen. Hopefully it's one with some liquid in, yes. So let's start with, it's not clean, this blender pen. I mean, as in it's stained. But if I scribble, you will see that it's clean. Have you ever re-inked a blender pen or markers? Yes, not a blender pen, but I have done markers, and I can talk about that in a minute. So if I want to use, I don't need that anymore, do I? So as I say, Magenta Madness, let's go for a really bright colour. So blend, 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 blend. And then I want to clean, and all I do is get a rough piece of paper and just scribble until there is no ink left. That's all I do. I just keep scribbling until there is no ink left. And then if I come over this side, still a little bit. But yeah, and then every time I pick up a blender pen, I will start by scribbling it, and if there's a little bit left, I will just get rid of it. Now, as I say, Magenta Madness is probably the hardest to get off, and it will stain, but that's all I do is I just scribble. Simple as. Now, refilling, I have refilled a blender pen. It's a nightmare because you need to know what the recipe is. And the recipe isn't that simple. It involves glycerin and distilled water and a bit of alcohol. So you can, frankly, they're not expensive and they do last a long time. In the days when, remember the days when we could do face-to-face events? I used to use these for my coffee and card events where we used watercolour pencils quite a lot. And I think I replaced the blender pens maybe once every 6 months. So I'd get a pack of 3 and they'd all use them. We used to get between half a dozen and 10 people at the local coffee shop. And that was every second and fourth week of the month. So twice a month. And I guess I replaced them about every 3 months maximum. So that's that. Filling a whatnot, a marker. Let me find a colour and a pen. I don't know if my Highland Heather needs to be re-inked. No, but I'll show you anyway. Now, first thing to know is that apparently, and I'm not the witness to this, but apparently the ink in a Stampin' Right marker is different from the ink on the ink pads. So Stampin' Up were quite surprised when they heard that we were using the re-inker to re-ink our Stampin' Right markers. Now, frankly, as we have to buy them in colour families, why wouldn't we? But there we go. Because if we can't buy them singly, we can't replace them singly. No, you haven't asked the wrong thing. Oh, you meant the coloured markers. The alcohol ones and the regular markers. Okay, well, let's start with the regular markers and then I'll come on to the alcohol ones. So, I'm just going to get a cloth just to make sure that my pliers are clean. So I've got a pair of flat pliers. They've got no ridges on, they're just flat. You have to be very careful. You've been doing stuff since 1965, have you, Debbie? Oh, sorry, 1995. I cannot tell you how many years I've been crafting. But a lot. Let's just say a lot. So I've got a piece of just kitchen paper. You want to take the brush end and very gently, this is not covered by a warranty either from Stampin' Up or me, you very gently pull out the nib. You then get your re-inker and add a drop at a time, and I'm only going to add a couple of drops because it doesn't need re-inking, but you just add a drop at a time, let it sink in, add another drop, let it sink in, put the lid back on your re-inker, Okay, I'll come on to that, Kay. So you then pick up your nib again and pop it back in. And then clean your pliers because you don't want ink left on them. I always check. And then it runs perfectly well. So, and I do that all the time. So if one needs re-inking, I will re-ink it quite happily, even though technically the ink is different. When it comes to the alcohol markers, no, you cannot refill your alcohol markers. We do not have refills for them. Whether they will ever do them, I don't know. But on the basis that you can buy them just as the two of each colour, so the light and the dark, I don't see that as much of an issue as the Stampin' Right markers. I know that other manufacturers of alcohol inks will do re-inkers, but no, we don't. So what was the other one? New pack of the brushes. Okay, just while I've not tidied up my room, so I've got these. So you mean the water painters? I'm thinking oval blending brushes. Oh, the blending brushes, right? Okay, not the watermarkers. Yes and no. I've only got 3 because I could only pre-order 3. Let me grab them. And a piece, actually I'm going to find a piece of scrap. Bear with me one moment. Why did that become scrap? Oh well. Anywho. Right, so here is a piece of scrap paper. I've only used 2 of mine so far. It's a piece of scrap paper with a lump in it, but never mind. So that one is clean, that one's never been used. These 2 have been. Not a huge amount. So this one has got, I've used for Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay so far. I can see a very small amount. I think you're right, Wendy. I think the blends are just for the length of time that you've got them. So I've got a little bit of ink coming out of that. This one was, I want to say Coastal Cabana, but it may not have been, not Coastal Cabana, Calypso Coral. I can't remember the card that I used it for. Anyway, a pink. And again, that's hardly. I have ordered 2 more packs because yes, I'm going to have colour families. So I'm going to have what I would call aquas, pinks, yellows, reds, you know, so I will. But I've also been told, and I will test this for you. So here is a microfiber cloth. So cheap and nasty. I think it was £1 at the local pound store. And I've been told that you can clean them on those. So, as I say, this is one that hasn't got a huge amount of ink on it. Anyway, I'll find some of the appropriate colour ink and give it a go. So, Bermuda Bay. So let me pick up some Bermuda Bay. And obviously when you're using a blender pen, you're getting a very much lighter coverage. The product person was out of the office and instead of her calling to discuss it, oh sorry, I'm not reading. I asked because I went to use a pen in October last year and the brush end had ink, but not the fine end. Okay. I called SU and asked why that might be, that one end worked and the other didn't. Their product person was out of the office and instead of her calling to discuss it, they just replaced all the ones that didn't work. Okay. Yeah, well that would be why, because they don't think that you can re-ink them. Anyway, so that's, let me turn this over. So I've done my blending and there's still almost nothing there. I mean, because I know it's there, I can see it. So if I were then to go to pool party. Actually, I'm going to go mint macaron because it's slightly greener. So if I then go to mint macaron and pick that up, that's definitely, this is really bad paper to be doing it on, by the way, because it's the back side of grid paper and it's not smooth at all. Oh, okay, running it underwater, okay. Okay, and then leave them to dry. Yeah, but as I say, I think yes, I would stick to colour families, but yeah, I think the answer is I would stick to colour families, and then, as you say, just rinse them. They're brilliant. But certainly that is definitely mint macaron and not a mixture of mint macaron and Bermuda Bay. There is no Bermuda Bay coming out, which is that very much bluer. And even if I press quite hard, it's still only mint macaron. So, yeah. Because I'm doing a lot of stuff, and as you probably know, I do a lot of videos. So I'm using the product all the time. I have ordered new or additional brushes, but yeah, only so that I don't have to keep washing things. I'm a lazy crafter, so yeah, and I run it as a business, so for me it's just a business expense, and that means that I can offset it against tax as well, which is never a bad thing. So any other, I do have them, so maybe you should try. Yeah, well, I think the answer, Kay, is to try them and see if you need to get more. If you don't need to get more, don't get more. But I think I have seen people use really well used versions of that and then pick up a completely different colour. Oh, now, Kylie Bertucci in Australia, she did a video earlier this week where she was using the blender brushes on a card. Can't remember what the project was that she was doing. Anyway, there was earlier this week she used blender brushes, and she went through the fact that she was using completely different colours and they didn't bleed. So it may be worth having a look at her video. It's one of, I mean, she never does a short video, bless her. Says she who is now at nearly an hour. But yeah, I would have a look at that. Heidi, actually they were, I think it was a blue, I think Mango Melody was one of them, but anyway, yes, she used 3 very different colours. Yes, exactly. She then used the yellow and it was fine. Absolutely. The red didn't come out at all. And no, Kylie never cleans anything. Kylie and I are very, very similar. That's right, it was the ice cream card. Kylie and I are very, very similar in so many ways. I do some training with her, and we have very much the same sense of humour. So, yeah. Anyway, right, okay, so on the basis we are now completely off topic, I'm going to call this a day, and thank you very much for joining me. If anyone does have any other questions about joining, by all means leave a comment, because I do always answer comments. Even if someone says, wow, I really like that card, I will always answer. I think it's just polite, frankly. So I will always reply to comments. Kylie is Kylie Bertucci. Ooh, Bertucci. Ooh. I think it's double T. So I think it's Bertucci, but it may only be one T. Thank you, Heidi. It's one T. Bertucci. So it's B-E-R, Bert, Ucci. And the Ucci is U-C-C-I. You're very welcome, Ali. So thank you very much indeed. I hope you find it interesting. It's 1 T, 2 C's. Yes. And I look forward to seeing you. I'm doing a crafting stream tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So if you are free at 3 o'clock UK time, which will be wee small hours of the morning for Australia, but maybe a better time of day for those of you in the US. For those of you that are kind of East Coast-ish, it should be kind of morning. And West Coast-ish, it should just be early morning. See you tonight, Wendy. Absolutely. First time you've caught me live. Well, there you go. So yes, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. I am doing, certainly during Sale-a-Bration, I'm doing those 2 slots. And depending on how popular they are, I will tweak how much more I do or whether I keep them going, etc., etc. How many hours from a year time now? Not quite sure I understand, Heidi. Oh, how many hours from your time now? Okay, so 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon would be in 3 hours time. So it's just coming up to noon. So it would be whatever 3 hours ahead of where we are now is. Thank you, Kay. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and Saturday. Yes, Heidi, it's midday now. Super. Thank you very much indeed. Keep well, keep safe, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye.